Okay, so I think that we can start. The topic for today is improving efficiency of the project together with the business analyst. And I am Jūratė and I'm working as product owner and business analyst in Baltic Amadeus. I'm very passionate about this role and activities and responsibilities, so I have passed several of international recognized certificates. And currently I'm working on probably one of the biggest Progress Open Edge application modernization project, OSIF. And if you have more questions, so we have here CEO from OSIF Solution Center, so you can ask the questions directly. It's agree, you know. It's like it's the way like business analysts work. They agree everything with stakeholders and people, so everything is agreed. So this is my first presentation abroad. So I hope you will enjoy and we will spend a great time together. Another side from me, so we can be already a friend if you have any of the balls or racket or table. And as we saw yesterday, so dancing also brings us together. Baltic Amadeus, you already hear that Baltic Amadeus is a Lithuanian-based company that is in the business more than 30 years. We have more than 200 IT talents and we work with cross industries. And inside Baltic Amadeus, we have a progress unit, and you can see that we are very motivated young people, but already very experienced, and we can help you with support in support new development or modernization project. And again, if you have any questions, we have Viva here. So please don't hesitate and ask directly if you need any help. Yeah, I will not mention, white t-shirts because a lot of other people, they also having them. So, why me or okay. So since you know me better, I would also like to know you better. So 2 questions for you. Who are developers here? Okay, a lot of. So that's a little bit pity that not many people from business side, because the insights here are very important for them. But I hope that you will bring that insights for your business people, and I can explain why they need a business analyst in the project. Okay, and so since you are developers, are you working or have you worked with business analyst or product owner? So raise your hand who has already experience. Okay, not much. Good. So agenda, project failures and success factors, then BA role and its responsibilities, product owner not versus business analyst but in collaboration, and then we have conclusion, how business analyst contributes to the project efficiency. And at the beginning, I would like to start with 3 examples from real life. So here is a short story. A mother leaves a note for her son. We are running low on milk. Could you go to the store around the corner and buy a liter of milk? And if they have eggs, get 6. The son runs off to the store, and when he returns, he puts 6 liters of milk on the table and tells his mom, yes, they had eggs. Yes, so here is a very good example what was said and what was meant. And this kind of situations happens often during development. And if the requirements are not clear, sometimes items can turn out slightly different than expected. And I was also in the presentation that Claudia was presenting, and she told about she raised the question, how can a developer ensure the future legacy code will be good? And the first bullet point was that condition was that the requirement has to be clear. And if the requirement is not clear, it has ambiguities, then you cannot ensure that your code is good, and you cannot ensure that requirements are met. Another example is small talk between developer and QA engineer. Let's have a look.
Hey! Hey!
Yeah, so stop. Okay. Enough. So what happened here? So we can see that testing without specification so cause a lot of pains, right? Yeah, and it leads to failure, and when functionalities are not clearly defined, so the result is as we see in this video. And I know a situation, so I face also when in the project there is no specification, documentation, then QA is asking developers, okay, how should I test it, or does it work as I expected? And then it depends the answer from the developer. He can say, yeah, try, test, and it's work in my environment, there is no bugs, and so on and so. But actually the primary source for test engineers, QAs, the primary source for testing is documentation and requirements. And the next example, so yeah, not this, but this. We also see that before, and a lot of presenter loves this example because it indicates a communication breakdown along the chain. And from left to the right, we can see how the customer explained his needs, so how the engineer designed it, how project leader understood, how programmer wrote the code, and at the end, finally, we see what the customer really needed. And starting from the beginning, when the client could not explain his vision, could not explain his needs, finally, we have the result that it's not the same as customer has expected. And the question how these examples are related to our today's topic. So we know that all jokes come from real life, right? And to the first example, we should see from developer's eyes when he reads the documentation, and the answer is, yeah, okay, I did what was written, right? Because in the text was written clearly written that he has to bring 6 milk, but it was meant that he has to bring eggs, but not milk. And the second example was from QA side, so no specification, so no source for testing. And here, we see the communication doesn't work well here. So I read several articles and tried to find out and list. Here I listed top 5 reasons. Of course, there are much more reasons, but here I compared 2 researchers, and the result we can see from 2007 and 2020. They have something in common. So we can see that in 2007, the main reasons for were requirements deficiency, poor project planning, people added to the project, poor customer involvement, and incorrect identification of risk. And in 2020, so we also see that not understanding the needs of the business, inability to reach consensus on priorities, lack of clarity and execution strategy, not starting with the end customer, and of course unclear requirements. So the researches were carried out 30 years apart, but the results are the same, and we do understand how does everything change, and especially in IT industry. But top 5 reasons are still the same. I also find one research that was carried out 1 year before. Here are more facts and numbers. And this research is was published in Project Portfolio Management website. And according to this research, it is a big strategy mistake not to do a business analysis, and especially in the initial phase where the scope, high-level requirements or needs, timeline, roadmap have to be defined. And this study is of more than 8,000 projects, and we can see that if it is a lack of coherent business analysis, so either project ends in failure, or budget is exceeded, or scope is not fully implemented. Yeah, and that's of course not good. Luckily, I found also success factors, and here are research that was carried out in different continents and countries, and we also can see that they have something in common, and you won't be probably surprised that according to the research, the main factors are clear set of requirements and their management. And of course, apart from that, other key factors are clear vision, goal, and realistic expectations, of course. I also found funny facts. So how does understand developers' success in the project and managers? So for developer success, it means that they understand requirements again, are not under schedule pressure, do a good job and grow professionally. And for managers, user satisfaction is an indicator of the project success, and of course, with the user satisfaction or client satisfaction, all consequences follow from it together. So budget not exceed, expectations met, and so on. Requirements. How does it relate with business analysis? So yeah, to be more serious, I took a definition to my slides too. So what is business analysis? And the definition I took from IIBA. So it is International Institute of Business Analysis that creates standards for business analysis, and it says that it is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. And I asked also ChatGPT, and yeah, it confirms. So ChatGPT is, like International Institute of Business Analysis. But yeah, we see that business analysis actually is about stakeholders' needs and finding solution, bringing value, and it is a practice and discipline. And yeah, what does it mean? So what does business analysts do? What activities and responsibilities they have? So first of all, they work closely together with stakeholders, with end users, with subject matter experts, and they are understanding and defining needs, problems, and objectives. It's the first step what they are doing. And by using the right mix of elicitation techniques like interview, workshops, observation, or mind mapping, process analysis, they try to find all the needs, and when the needs are identified, then they specify and outlines business requirements. So basically here, they translate these needs into clear and detailed requirements for developer or for other teams, and here they are preparing, for example, business requirements documentation or functional requirements documentation. They write use case, user stories, create a glossary like outcome, business rules, and so on. What else? So they are like translator and translates business process and identifies together with the team where to improve. So we know that business analysts have a lot of meetings, discussions, so they are facilitating that meetings, But what is very important, so that business analysts, they know techniques, and then they bring to the team the answer, also prepare documentation, because if you only participate in the meetings but there is no outcome, or you don't know how to document and prepare the work for your development team, so it does not bring a value. And so they translate business needs to development team, brings the answers, but at the same time they can tell to business people, not in so technical words, and bring the solutions or possibilities to the business side and stakeholders. Validates requirements and decisions, so they are working on empirical approach, so they can prepare prototypes and do reviews with stakeholders to see that all needs are covered, and that the expectation will be met. And it said that there's no specification without validation, so for business analysts it's really very important activity. Testing support, so BAs, like we saw in the video, the main and primary sources for testing are documentation, and they assist in defining test cases and validating, and so they are working really close together with QAs. Yeah, and then change and project management, so because they have a knowledge and the big overview, big picture about the project, so they can assist to manage, and for example, they can prepare for a training, for a communication plan, for stakeholders engagement. They can help to track progress and ensure that deadlines are met. Yeah, I know how you developers like reading a lot of tests, so I also took one diagram for you. It's from International Requirements Engineering Board. It's also standard, so you can see that business analysis is not a linear process. It is also iterative and incremental, and we have to do source analysis, elicitation, conflict resolution, then validation, and only then requirements can go to development. And if you miss something, some sources are overlooked or defects are detected, so you have to go step back and do it again. So we already know what is business analysis. We know what activities business analysts do. So who is a business analyst? And the question is here. And business analyst is any person who performs business analysis tasks, no matter the job title or organizational role. So it might be that you call them business architects or data analyst or management consultant or product manager or product owner. So if there is no dedicated separate analyst in the project, it does not mean always that analysis activities are not carried out. And sometimes this role, analyst role, can be covered by another role, so like technical lead or project manager as well. Let's have a look closer to these three roles, so business analyst, product manager, and product owner, and how these three roles are overlapping or contribute or interact with each other. And yeah, so you know, Agile is very popular today, and many organizations have implemented Agile in recent years, and they work with Scrum framework, and we can see that business analyst is in development team. So basically, business analysts were already before Agile and Scrum framework came to development, and that's because business analyst also in the team, and product owner was only defined together with Agile and with Scrum framework, and yeah, it is mandatory role in working in agile projects, and that's because business analyst is together with development team, so he's concerned more with technical side of the product development and is responsible for aligning what the customer wants with what the team is producing. And product owner is more about providing maximum value to the product. You don't have to read everything what is displayed here. I just wanted to show a big picture and overview that sometimes, especially in small projects, roles can be hybrid, or business analyst can do also product manager work, or product owner is also doing business analyst work. So there are possibilities and different ways how do this role work together, but I want to point out project manager task, because this role has does not perform business analysis tasks. So he is responsible more for monitoring, for resource managing, for reporting, and planning and budgeting. But product owner and business analyst, they are working closely together. And here how they split their responsibilities. So we can see that typical business analyst tasks are requirements, project focus, non-functional requirements, story refining, process modeling, data modeling. And typical product owner are business strategy, customer focus, competitive analysis, business priorities, funding, and market analysis. And what is between? So it depends how the business analysts work and find working way together, and it depends on how experience and what skill set they both have. And yeah, if product owner does not know how to perform business analysis task, or how to write the requirements, how to do backlog refinement, or write acceptance criteria, then of course these activities has to be taken from business analyst, and vice versa. So the success of the team depends on how good these two roles are working together, if both roles are on the project. Oh, conclusions. Oh. You see, business analyst works very efficiently. Yeah. Okay, so conclusions. So what is efficiency in the project? So it's about accomplishing project goals while minimizing waste and maximizing productivity. And it means that work will be done without any major process obstacles if you did preparation work and upfront work, and if you did a business analyst. And it really does not matter what project type it is: agile, waterfall, water agile, modernization, or new application, developing new application. So if you want the project to be successful, you need to do business analysis, you need to define scope, you need to define timeline, you need to define needs, and you have to do it before you starting it implementing, because there are two phases. So first of all, initial phase, where you do more strategically analysis, and then it is, the delivery phase, where you have to define only the details for the team and start implementing. But it makes everything so much complicated if you are already in delivery phase, and then only you have to understand the needs, what you have to do and perform. So then it's no upfront work done. It's more complicated for architects, for business analysts, and for all team. And the picture here on the right side illustrates, how the guys are doing great job, but it's useless, because how much time they spend, how much money they spend, and you need to rework, and there is no efficiency at all. Yes, so in essence, the most important thing what you have to take from this, that it's very important to do business analysis if you want to your project will be successful. And of course, an analyst alone will not make a miracle happen, and successful and effective project delivery requires a team cooperation as well. And in my experience, the best cooperation in the team, so if you had business analyst, principal developer or tech lead and QA, and they are working in good collaboration, so all parts from business side, from technical side and from testing side are covered, the risk that you will fail is really minimal. So if something is not working there, you have to find that some of these roles are not doing its responsibility very well. Questions? Yes.
Well, okay, let's say you have a business analyst and you have a product owner and everything's working together with the team and with the customer, with the end user. But once the product is in production, how about the value stream mapping, whether the project meets its objectives and the software, how it's used in production? Does a business analyst have any role in that?
Business analyst is more, when they are already starting the delivery, starting implementing, and from technical side when you are working here. And that, what are you, or business analyst has to be involved really in initial when the strategy, was planned, where they made some surveys in market. So if the business analyst were involved in that stage, then he can bring the value. But if you do not upfront work in that,
but you predict the kind of value for the business, but you validate whether that value is actually created after it's in production. I mean, it's this whole plan, do, check, act. Anyway, whether you check whether the business criteria are met and well, if the product actually is used as expected, or if it's even more used or less used, and have we'll check whether it's actually used. Is that something that business analyst also does? Is this role finished?
So business, here, if you are asking, so will the product will use in market, right, or something like, how?
So we predict a product is going to be used in a certain way. We've talked with the end users and they say, okay, yes, excellent. But once it's in production, does it actually?
Yeah, so here is, marketing also responsible for that maybe, and because if it's not if a product is not used, and it depends on how experienced business analyst is. If he cannot advise, and give some good points, so in production it can be also, So you have to do upfront work together with business analysts, together with marketing to see how it will be used in production. Yeah, so too. Or product owner that adds value and knows, and for technical, because product owner responsibility is to do that competitors analysis, to do market analysis, to see what,
And that the investment's paid off.
So business analyst can also advise here if he works and has experience in that market with the product, but it's not his responsibility for that. The most value added here, product owner. Okay, more questions?
In terms of change requirements, when there should be change requirements, how do you apply those change requirements, especially in agile mode?
Change requirements. So it's a tricky question because change requirements, what does it mean? Does it mean that it is already in scope or not?
For instance, after the first sprint or during the testing of a release,
Mhm.
which was just developed, let's say that not developers, testers, during the test, they are finding something.
Mhm.
And the fact that it's not clear, is it intended or is it alternative flow, there are needed some discussions.
Yeah.
And maybe the outcome of those discussions is the fact that they need to change something. So the requirement maybe was not clear, was not complete, something was omitted.
Mhm.
These terms of
Yeah, so here I understand. So here is very important how the team is collaborating and working together. For example, if you do refinements and you go through, the user story and acceptance criteria, for all team is clear and the documentation is updated. So then if a change request comes, then it's of course change request and we have to go back to the business and say, to look where was misunderstandings. But if they were written, or in refinement already refined and clarified and something is missing, then it's just bug and bug fixing in prod. So it depends, if there were specifications and there were not written, and then it's change request and you have to do it, but it's not a bug. And how to do it? So you solve with business again, because if you add additional requirements, then the scope, you cannot, you have to look, something have to take off the sprint and to do that change request again. But yeah, it depends on documentation. Sometimes it bug fixing just because it was mentioned, it was discussed, it was clarified, and it was missed. But if it's change request, then yeah. And sometimes, change requests are like, okay, we want to improve, So change request that does not count it, or, in previous scope, but you just collect change request as improvements to the further, for example, project or later on. Okay, yeah.
Regarding the first step, you try to understand the business needs of the users. Once you think you understand them, I guess you write it down in a kind of documents.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a kind of validation of this document together with those users before passing the document to development?
Yeah, so, you identify these needs not with end users, because market is very, broad, bright, or how to say. So, yeah. So the customer that is working with end users, so have already done some surveys, right? So they have also product owner have to perform that job before. But for business analysts, so of course, then they are doing like they are reading business rules, because there are also documentation how the business works, at all. There are legacy systems, so they have to do before the elicitation also some homeworks, let's say, from the documentation that already is, and then they can discuss and elaborate and to do observation together with stakeholders and to find, these needs, what has to be changed, what improvements do they want, and so on. Did I answer your question? Because maybe I missed something. Yeah.
And then a second question, do you, as a business analyst, only try to understand the business flows, or in how far
Yes.
Thinking about, for instance, extra fields or extra tables that needs to be added, or is this something for the technical guys?
So from my point of view, because I like very much front end, so I always came also with solutions. But of course, business analysts cannot, decide because there are front end guys. Olivier, hello. Where are you? Yeah. So you have. I always bring my suggestions, but we found agreement together with technical guys, and of course it depends on how do you have experience. For example, I worked in e-commerce project before, so I know how the things feels or where should it be, so I can say, okay, this is not good, or I suggest that, or but if I hadn't that experience, so I have to rely on the technical guys only. So, it depends. That answer is always good.
If it's a good business analyst, then I guess they could help. Of course, they will not tell you what kind of format and data types to use, or will not prepare a DF file into the database, but they at least could give you just a rough idea what kind of data needs to be stored. So.
Yeah, and we are like business analysts, we are preparing a lot of prototypes, and we goes through them together with stakeholder and advise, this is good, this is not good, what do you want, you want something else or additional information to display, and so on and so on. So here are the techniques and empirical approach where you have to go through. Yeah.
On the documentation, how do you define who is doing what a little bit? Like you as business analyst, will you write also the process out for the business itself, or is that a task of the product owner?
It depends also, a good answer, because it depends on project complexity and team members involved in that project at all. But it is a technique for me very useful. So RACI matrix, so who is responsible, who is who you have to you have to only inform, who is accountable. So to do that RACI matrix, not only for example, stakeholders, that to whom you have to contact, but also in team you can do that RACI matrix as well. So for what example I am responsible for what product owner or technical lead, or so this brings adds a lot of value too, and of course you have such a page in Confluence, and everybody is on the same page and can double check it. Okay. Yeah. Do we have more questions? No. If not yet, so you can always ask me, contact, and we can discuss everything also further. And yeah, then thank you for coming here, and I wish you a good day.